we see the two things here. So the first one is that we are seeing a reopening of the economy, so which is having some different paths depending on the countries in Asia. And on the second hand, you have some second wave, or the risk of second wave that we are seeing in the US, that we are seeing in China. And looking at the sentiment on the market, what we do see on our own sentiment, looking at the position on the market on the different asset classes, there is a stabilization on the sentiment. We are absolutely not coming back to a full risk on, but we are not either at the level of 2008. So I would say simply a stabilization of the market sentiment.
So what are you advising clients in this environment?
Well, on the asset allocation, we are going a full weight on credit, so it's now a quarter of our portfolio. We like commodities, and especially the base metal of gold. And in equity, we are buying the laggard. So we find that the rotation to the cyclical is going to continue. We like small cap, we like Japan. We think that there is still some upside on the US, but that will be more on other regions, and especially in Japan, that we will look for some opportunity. And also, talking of this rising risk of a second wave and the uncertainty that we have in the current environment, one thing can be certain is that there are some permanent shifts in the way that we are consuming, in the way that we are learning or studying. And so this concept of social distancing, and we see this again with the second wave, is something that is going to stay. And getting some exposure to this theme from an equity market point of view is something that we are currently advising the clients to do.
Frank, if you had to put a name to this kind of strategy, what would it be? Because essentially what investors are trying to tackle at this point is the fact that we've got a second wave that's happening in the United States, in China, and elsewhere, the potential for potentially a third wave even of this infection. How do you see this playing out with regards to where the stocks should be traded? I mean, is there a strategy that you could put a name to it?
Well, the name that I would put is the title of a recent publication that we have, is rough seas but favorable winds. And we know there is a lot of uncertainty. The level of conviction for a V-shape is not that high at the moment. But you have some cycle, or you have some mini cycle, and we think that we are now in one of them. We look at the fact, and what we see is a very forceful response for both central bank and fiscal policy in the developed market. And we see as well the economic indicator which are recovering. How long is it going to last? How long are they going to recover? This is, of course, something that is still very uncertain. But what we find is that in at least until the summer, we are in this mini cycle, which is rather favorable in terms of direction of risky assets.